Hey everyone, in today's video we'll show you how to assemble and prepare the AMULET Shift 5.1 SH bike. Before unpacking the bike, carefully remove the straps from the box to avoid scratching it when taking it out. Alright, we've taken the bike out of the box. Before we can put it in the work stand, we need to unclip the tie-down straps holding the wheel. Never use a blade cutter to avoid scratching or damaging the bike. Always use proper snips. Carefully unclip the fastener. The bike is now unstrapped and in the work stand, so now we need to visually inspect it for any shipping damage. The bike checks out fine, so we can start the assembly. First thing I recommend is starting with the handlebars. We'll need a 5mm Allen key. We'll remove the faceplate. The bike is almost assembled, so we'll turn the fork properly and install the stem. Check that the cable routing is correct so they don't end up twisted when we install them. With the stem installed, we tighten it gently, not hard, so we can feel it moves freely and without restriction. If we tighten it too much, you'll feel resistance, and that's not right, so we need to loosen it a bit. Then we tighten the stem bolts with a 4mm Allen key. Always alternate. First, tighten one bottom bolt, then the top one. Again, tighten gently with feel. The bike accessories include a manual, the saddle with seat post, front wheel quick release, pedals, and reflectors with a bell. So we can continue. Let's install the saddle. We need a 6mm Allen key. Loosen the bolt gently. Turn the top clamp so the saddle rails can slide into the lower one. Now flip the top plate back and tighten it. We'll adjust the saddle after the bike is fully assembled and on the ground to get the correct saddle angle. The bike has a quick release on the seat post, so we just flip it open. Insert the seat, fold down the quick release. Seat's in. Now let's move to the front wheel. Now we'll mount the front wheel with quick release. Before installing, remove the safety tab from the brake. Push the quick release into the wheel. And we can install it. First, we'll mount the right pedal on the right crank. It's marked with a red R. It has a smooth surface. Always do this by hand to make sure you catch the thread properly. Now we'll install the left one. It's marked with a green L and has notches. Before installing, coat the thread with any standard grease and mount it. Now let's inflate the wheels. According to the tire specs, we need to inflate to about 3 bars. We have a pump with a gauge, so we can check and start pumping. The inflation range is 40 to 65 psi or 2.8 to 4.5 bar. Here we have the cap unscrewed. Next, before attaching the pump, clean it, attach to the valve, lock it by flipping, and we can pump. Before putting it on the ground while it's still on the stand, check if it's properly adjusted. That's okay, we can take it off. I slightly tighten the stem, which I now need to loosen so we can properly set the angle to the front wheel. We do this visually by eye. We'll center it nicely. The stem should hold the line of the front wheel nicely. This is how we have it set. Now let's tighten it up nicely. So now we'll also adjust the saddle because on the stand we didn't know the right angle, we just assembled it. We'll loosen the saddle again. Horizontal angle, tilt, and we can tighten. The saddle has a groove on the bottom of the seat post. Be careful, maximum saddle extension is for safety, so the frame doesn't break. It must not be above the frame level. Just to mention, we mounted the bike on the stand, put on the quick release, installed the wheel. However, when we have the bike down from the stand, it's good to check if it's properly seated by loosening the quick release again. Make sure it's properly seated in the fork and tighten again under pressure. The rear wheel was already mounted, but we'll double check it using the same procedure. All we have left are reflectors for the wheels, saddle and handlebars. So let's start with the wheel 1. There's no rule where to mount it, but I've always been taught to put it opposite the valve. So the reflector, plastic insert that we need to twist with a flat screwdriver, 90-degree turn, and the reflector is mounted. Here's the front reflector. Simply slide it on and click, and we've got it assembled. Thread it through the handlebars. We mount it on the handlebars where it's thickest, so near the stem. Put the screw back in and tighten it carefully. The bell also needs a Phillips screwdriver. Unscrew the screw threaded through the handlebars. The bell always goes as close to the grip as possible, so on the thinner part of the handlebars. Put the screw back in and tighten. And we can rotate this part however it suits us. So big thumbs up to the handlebars. Now for safety reasons, we'll mount the reflectors. We have the rear seat post here, slide it in, it clicks, and the reflector's mounted. Unscrew the screw with the Phillips screwdriver. Next, slide the clamp over the seat post and tighten it. I recommend you don't mix these up. The rear seat post is at a slight angle, so the reflector sits correctly. There should be more space under the reflector than at the top. That's how we know it's mounted correctly. On the stand, we've mounted and assembled the whole bike. We mounted the pedals and hand tightened them. Don't forget to properly tighten the pedal with a 15 mm wrench. Use more force. And they're tightened. That's how we showed you how to assemble and prep the bike for use. You've got the manual with everything we just covered, and I wish the Exist Sport team many happy miles.